What's up, peoples? So I was going to play a prank on Dr. Ben Lynch today. What's up, Steph? Hotel California. I was going to come on like this, like, yo, SA, what's up, man? Oh, shit, he's watching this already. All right, let's get down to it. Dr. Ben Lynch is a big shot. I can't wait to talk to this man. He's on a strict time schedule here, so that's what happens with these big shot doctors, you know? Hey, you
Going,
alive?
Doc? How you doing?
What am I speaking to?
I've been fully censored, so this is the extent of what's left of me.
All right, can we do this then? I got a potato here. Can we just talk
Yeah,
like this?
that's good. That
I
works.
think we could get away with this, man, without Zuckerberg watching our shit.
I think so. I think so.
Oh man, hey, it's really nice to connect with you, man. I actually got decked out for you, dude.
Yeah, you did. So did I.
Because
I've been growing my facial hair for a couple days. I got to look badass and mean, right?
I had to clean up a little bit, because you're such a professional, good looking, like clean cut doctor
Oh
talking about
yeah,
wellness, healing.
wearing a t-shirt and a rag from Costco.
So
Yeah,
we went backwards for both of us. So
yeah.
hey, hey, it's good and bad to meet you. The good obviously is the connection, right? I respect you tremendously and your brand, but the bad is the circumstances and how we got connected.
Hmm.
So I was wondering, I actually want to ask you, how did you find my account?
Somebody tagged me when you did a live. You were throwing my vitamin D supplement under the bus because you said it tasted like shit and yours going to be way better.
I want to know who that mole was. But listen, but did they explain to you? And I don't know if you watched the video, but I had a lot of compliments for it as well.
All right. Well, good.
So
I appreciate the good part of your audience.
yeah, yeah. No, but Dr. Ben Lynch, I'm actually a board certified addiction psychiatrist, right? So what I've noticed in a lot of my clients is that when they're in a bad mental state, they're constantly relapsing. They don't take care of themselves. It's basic like one-on-one health. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So one of the things that I've noticed in a lot of my clients that are struggling with their mental health is their vitamin D deficient. So listen, I'm telling you, man, I'm responsible for at least 5% of your sales, probably over the past 5 years. So
Well, that's good. Our
um,
lawyers are drawing up papers for your, you know, getting 5% of the company. So I appreciate that.
so first off, man, I knew you were big, but I didn't realize you were that big. To get in touch with you, brother, I had to go through like 3 of your assistants. How many people do you have working for you, man? Like 15 emails to get this live going.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a number of requests that come through. So you made the screening method. So
Yeah.
well,
Hey, so let me ask you, man, like how did you get started on your medical journey?
when we all have our stories, right? Long story short, I was frustrated. I was studying pre-med at University of Washington, and I didn't know what kind of doctor I wanted to be. And my girlfriend at the time was full pre-med as well, and we ended up breaking up. And I was frustrated about that and sad. So I was like, "Oh, what the hell? I'm going to go travel the world." I went travel the world, and when I was in India, I got really, really sick. I mean, bad. And this
Mm.
local East Indian that I met in Jaipur said, "Oh, come see my doctor." And I was like, "Okay, that's kind of scary," but it ended up being Ayurvedic medicine. It was a bunch of herbs and stuff. And I went from feeling awful to feeling about 80% better in about an hour. And I was like,
Definitely.
what in the hell was that? And so I just pursued trying to identify what it was, and it turned out to be Ayurveda, but Ayurveda wasn't really as scientific as I wanted to be. So then I found naturopathic medicine to be, I want to be a primary care doc. And
Yeah.
so naturopathic medicine at Boston University paved that way for me to do that. So that's how I ended up where I am now.
Right. So I actually went to allopathic brainwash school.
Mm,
At the time I bought into it. And now that I'm out, I prescribe some medications, but I mostly prescribe medications as comfort medications to help people come off of prescription medications that other doctors fucked up on.
right.
So it's interesting that a medication like Zoloft, like an antidepressant that a lot of people get prescribed nowadays because they're all stressed out, is a lot harder to get off of than heroin. It's people could hate on me for saying that, but I actually have a harder time detoxing people off of Xanax prescribed legally than some illicit shit that someone's buying off the streets. So after a while, I've kind of come to realize that the way Western medicine isn't really healing. It's more about like masking symptoms. So I'm labeling myself as a holistic doctor, holistic psychiatrist, right? And I have the utmost respect for naturopathic functional medicine doctors such as yourself. But do you find it interesting that nowadays, for some bizarre reason, if you're like a holistic doctor, if you're into functional medicine, naturopath, you're labeled as a quack? Because I'm getting those kind of DMs. Do you get that kind of shit in your DMs? Do you get haters saying that like you don't know what the hell you're talking about, or is that just me here?
I have got a full body callus of all the arrows in my back of being called a quack. Yeah, but at the end of the day, call me a quack. I just do not give a damn. I do not care. If I am helping people
Right.
get better, utilizing methods that don't require medications or surgeries, and they're legit and they're scientifically validated and they improve tremendously without risk, I'll do that all day long, and you can call me names all day long.
Like the natural shit, doc.
Yeah.
Like eating right, sleeping right, taking some basic supplements, take
And
care of your body.
And let's say this.
And we're a crack,
Yeah. And how long has conventional medicine been on this planet compared to, the natural methods?
Right. Exactly.
Like infinitesimal amount, tiny amount. So
I feel you, man. So listen, me and Dr. Ben have actually agreed to keep this relatively PG-13 because neither one of us want to get the C word, or deleted and stuff. So we're going to keep this clean. But I just have to ask you this, man. Do you find it interesting that certain public health authorities that I'm going ham against, and we don't have to mention that person's name, but certain people don't want to mention basic things to help empower our immune system? Like basic things like vitamin D, brother. Come on, man. You don't need to be a doctor to know that this is good for you. Has multiple benefits. So I'm interested in vitamin D because I learned from Dr. Joel Fuhrman. He's my mentor. He wrote Eat to Live, and he's a nutritarian, but he uses food as medicine, right? So he's the guy that kind of like took me out of the matrix. But one of the things that he always taught me was that vitamin D is good for mental health. It's good for like 100 plus things in your body, but one of them is if your vitamin D levels are low, your patient is going to be more tired and more depressed. So I had this client, a young Chinese lady, whose she was on all these different meds, doc, and when I checked her vitamin D levels, it was at 10. So I gave her your product, and within 2 months, she's better. Took her off all her medications. So all these doctors were trying to mask her symptoms, her body screaming out that I'm not feeling good. All we needed was to give her some vitamin D, get those levels adequate. My question to you is, why do you think they don't talk about vitamin D and the benefits of that for just strengthening your immune system? Why has that not been mentioned in the mainstream media once? Or maybe you've seen it, but I haven't witnessed that.
Well, you know the answer.
Do you guys know the answer? The 300 people watching this shit right now, do you guys know why the mainstream media won't talk about basic vitamin D? Seriously.
Let's see some comments here. Yeah. So what do you all think?
Yeah. Me and Dr. Ben have to keep things under a little hush hush here, but you guys can comment.
Yeah, I'm seeing some. Yep. And so if you recommend something that works at a foundational, structural, physical level, like amazing level, and you improve all these things long term, what happens to your market? It's gone. The best sign I ever saw for a clinic, a doctor's clinic, he had this kind of a nasty looking street sign, but on this sign were letters, words, and it said, all my need more patients. All my other ones got better. And I thought that was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So when you struggle with not having sufficient clientele because they're getting better, well, it's pretty cool if you can manufacture a reason to make them all sick again.
Yeah.
At the same time, you manufacture the solution. And then not only that, but you scare the hell out of people in order to, flock to your solution. And then you have everybody on your team to support that. And it's unbelievable where we are today. It's very, very unfortunate. So,
but you listen, here's what I appreciate about you, is that not only do you help address, people not feeling very good or sick, but you also have products and treatment tools or assessment tools to help enhance their lives as well. So can you explain to me a little bit about your Dirty Genes book and the StrateGene program that you got going on? Because I was looking through that and I'm very interested, especially for my practice too.
So what I do is basically try to create tools that empower the individual in order to get better themselves. That's my goal. Look, you and I as health professionals, we should be sought out as a last resort. People should know that going out in the sunshine and or consuming Twinkies on a daily basis, or overeating, or over exercising, staring at screens right before bed, they should know all this fundamental stuff so they don't end up having addictive disorders. And if they do have addictive disorders, why are they, and what are their genetics telling them? And so if I identify you have certain genes that reduce your body's ability to make serotonin or make dopamine, and at the same time speed up your body's ability to break them down or reabsorb them or reuptake them, that is a problem. And you can identify these things. So basically, my company just creates tools that inform people how their body works, because health class that you all learned in school just taught you the food pyramid, which basically create yourself some diabetes, by eating all these grains. That's the biggest box on the bottom.
Right. Don't even get me. Bro, they taught me, in nutrition class in medical school, you know what they taught me? They taught me how to memorize a triglyceride molecule. What the hell is that information going to do for anyone here? Dina, do you give a shit? Dina's a friend of mine. Do you give a shit if I know what the molecular structure of a triglyceride molecule looks like? She would want to know what healthy fats are and what kind of foods I could recommend that contain healthy omega-3 fatty acids. But
and you know why they do that?
Imagine to brainwash you and to get people sick, and so they can make money off of certain, products that they have.
To take your eye off the actual target. If you are memorizing minutia, and you're so busy memorizing minutia, you are never taught to think.
Oh, my goodness.
And if you're not taught to think, then you can't question things.
Yeah.
And if you can't question things, or even know how to phrase a question, because you're not even taught how to phrase a question, you're just taught to memorize a bunch of crap. And that's all med school is.
Yeah.
I mean, that is it.
I'm with you on that, brother. And your girlfriend dumping you in college was probably the best thing to happen to you, right?
Oh, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I bet your wife now is a lot hotter than her.
She is. She's a great lady.
That's right.
She's a great lady. And you know what? She utilizes completely natural things in her life. And so, and also what's really cool is her parents make homemade vodka.
Oh, word?
Oh, yeah. Nice. They're very good. And they put a whole bunch of herbs in there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Really? It's so smooth. So I kind of wish I drank more because their vodka is so good. So.
I bet it's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, just one last question about your ex. Do you ever rub it in hey, look at me now, girl, what's up? You could have had this. You could have had a part of the health empire, girl. StrateGene, Dirty Genes. What's up?
Yeah, I send her letters every single day. No, I wish her the best. I hope she's doing well. She's a traditional MD. Hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. She's a traditional MD like me. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, hey, I've got a lot of people on the traditional MD aisle, and we're best buds, because we think completely alike, and the cool thing is, as that it doesn't matter what initials come after our name, as long as we are supporting the patient.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter.
But and I do find the value of medications, but what I find very frustrating about our current healthcare system is that they're only attacking it from one angle. You know, sure, maybe someone who's having an acute panic attack can benefit from a, you know, prescription pill at that moment, you know, but that's not the long-term strategy. It's more like a Band-Aid for a wound. If your wound is bleeding, you might need a Band-Aid to cover that temporarily until we get the vitamin Ds, the vitamin Ks, our nutrients in to fix the wound, you know, the root cause of the wound. But when they keep adding and adding more, let's try this style Band-Aid, and then let's put this kind of Band-Aid on. And then I inherit someone with 11 Band-Aids, and then all I have to do is the thyroid test to find out that the thyroid levels are all fucked up. It's like, I'm thinking, I'm just confused. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you doctors, man? Like, I didn't graduate top of my class. In fact, I barely passed medical school, but this is basic shit that most doctors don't address, which is just the natural healing and the core root of issues. So that's why, like, through this whole pandemic situation, I've been very blessed to connect with people like you and other holistic wellness guys that are really into healing. So I appreciate the connection, man. And it's really interesting. What I find fascinating about you is not only you're a really smart guy, but you're a very good businessman too. And I don't know about you, brother, but in medical school, they never taught me shit about making a living.
No.
I learned jack.
When I was in 5th grade, every day I rode my bike to school, and I had always passed this golf course, which emanated this smell of hot dogs and French fries. And I didn't have money, and I really wanted that corn dog.
Yeah,
and
delicious.
My parents wouldn't give me that nutritious corn dog. That, you know, they wouldn't give me the money, and so I was going to figure out a way. So as I was riding my bike, I would see glistening in the pond, which was a kind of a sewer treatment pond as well, which I didn't. And I would grab the rake from the sand trap, and I'd pull the golf balls out, and there's a whole bunch of them, and then I'd wash them, and then I would
sell them hustle.
Yeah, and I would sell them back to the golfers for $25 to $1 a piece, and then I'd go and get my corn dog with sewer-laden hands, and enjoy the heck out of it. So
you figured it out, man. You just had to figure it out. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Solve problems.
You wanted that corn dog.
Yeah.
You had to figure out a way to make it happen.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, what would you, so I have a pretty young audience. I have a lot of young, like 18 to 25-year-olds watching this kind of stuff. And do you have any, I personally believe that more and more businesses are going to be going online. I don't feel like this shit is going to be going away anytime soon, not to be pessimistic, but what would you recommend for the young guns? Like, what is a good point to start for a young gun who wants to start a business online?
Listen to Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Tune into Gary Vaynerchuk on Insta and TikTok or wherever else. And, you know, Tony Robbins, and, you know, you got to start learning personal growth. My kids, they're all learning that stuff right now. And you've got to, whatever you're scared of, lean into that. So read. And if you can't read for, you know, maybe you hate reading, I don't like the word hate, but if you despise reading, listen to podcasts and tune into podcasts and marketing podcasts. And, you know, I Love Marketing is a great podcast by Joe Polish, phenomenal one. And so just learn a ton. And Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield, phenomenal book. So Turning Pro is basically, we all have this fear in us. And we have fear of failure because failure is, well, it's failure. It sucks. But you gotta just embrace that fear. And I do things that scare the hell out of me every day. I mean, terrifying.
Like coming on this live with me.
Yeah, this was really scary.
You don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would just say embrace fear. It's okay to fail. Failures are the best teachers in the world. So I've failed so many times. And the key to an entrepreneur is you fall 8 times, 10 times, but you get back whatever number that's just above that. So
exactly.
if I lost everything today, that would suck, but I just start over. It's all right. And
I also think the ability to adapt to changes and discomfort and pain too, right? I mean, I feel like the whole world is getting a free course in pain, pressure, and adaptation right now.
yes,
Thanks to the higher power here.
and motivation to fix your own self. And you know, the other thing is too is listen more than you give advice, and give. When when you go to med school, our brains are worth like $250,000 plus, right? And so we have to sell that information back. And so we were taught in med school that our brains is how we cash out. So we can't give any of the secrets in our brain without asking for money back in exchange. And when I listen to Brendan Bouchard's work, Millionaire Messenger, I think that's what his book, The Millionaire Messenger, is a really good book. I'm not great with the title, but anyway, he basically said, give away your best work. Just give it away, but sell your greatest work. And I started doing that with fear. Here I was giving away amazing information and content, which people would read for free, and they would get better, and I'd make no money on it. And then I would sell my absolute best information. And then once I started doing that, things took off. And
I think, yeah. So would you say Dirty Genes is your greatest work?
I would say it is the greatest work in terms of simplifying the complexity of everything that I do in research, and it gives a starting point to enter in a methodical manner.
Yeah.
So if you just come into study, start following my work, or you try to jump in without understanding the concept of Dirty Genes, you might be swimming around treading water and get kind of tired and sink a little bit. So Dirty Genes is the greatest work in terms of where to start with what I do.
And hopefully that'll give a very good understanding of StrateGene and how that could benefit you. So they could go hand in hand too, right?
They do. Yeah, for sure.
The doc, people are like, well, you guys shut the fuck up and just answer our questions. We want to get that free book.
All right.
Let's answer some of these questions. But man, you're a cool dude, man. I enjoy vibing with you. Okay. Someone's asking, can you talk about the Serotonin? Yo, man, we're not going to talk about the VA-XXX. All right. Let's see. All right, man, everyone loves you, man. They all want to ask you these kind of questions. Can you discuss epigenetics and the brain? Talk to us, doctor.
Wow. I'm glad that your question was really narrow and specific.
I mean, I know you don't have much time, so we just whatever you could say, and then but H-A-Go Sounds, you got a free book. Whoever wins the book, just email me, and I'll have my peoples send you the book. Dirty Genes by Dr. Ben Lynch, my brother here.
This is a great question, because if you, first of all, what's epigenetics? For those of you who are not familiar with that. So you have genetics, and there's about 18,000 genes in our human body, and genes have jobs to do. That's it. So you have 18,000 employees in your body, and these employees are hired. You can't hire any new ones, and you can't fire them. They're there.
Yeah.
So you better nurture the hell out of them. Right? I've never used that example before. That's pretty good, though.
I like that. Hey, this is being recorded, brother. So
yeah, that's a good one. So you've got these 18,000 employees inside of you that you've never, ever met, by the way. You don't know their names. You don't even know what they do. They're just there.
Right.
So if you give them a ton of work to do, they might tire out and their performance may wane. And if you give them nothing, they might get kind of lazy and, kind of down regulates and not do much either when you start giving them some work. But they also need to be fed and nourished and given some tools. If you have 18,000 employees without computers or desks or telephones, they're also not going to get any work done. So genes have jobs to do. And in order to do work, they need vitamins and minerals most often. And those are epigenetics. And they also need to make sure that, the environment is clean. So for example, you're outside in the sun, vitamin D comes in on your skin and gets synthesized. And then
Right.
that vitamin D will work on thousands of other genes. So the epigenetics of the brain, let me give you one example. So there's a gene in your brain called monoamine oxidase.
Right.
So
Right.
it's MAOA for short.
Yep.
And there are a lot of prescription medications that work with your serotonin levels, or your SSRIs, for example, selective serotonin reuptake
Mm-hmm.
inhibitors. And a reuptake inhibitor is trying to keep your serotonin in your brain. It's trying to
Mm-hmm.
prevent it from getting vacuumed up and out. So it's trying to keep it in there, right, Doc? Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All
Absolutely.
right. So that SSRI is preventing the vacuum cleaners to suck it up and out.
Mm.
And you might be born with a faster serotonin reuptake gene. They exist.
Exactly. Yep.
And it may vacuum it out faster.
Right.
And then you also might have a serotonin receptor, which is in your brain, which is not working so well. It doesn't really bind that serotonin very well.
Right.
So if you are even given an SSRI to boost your serotonin levels, if your serotonin receptors are blunted, meaning that they're not working very well,
Yeah.
then that SSRI will still do nothing for you. So if you
Right.
took Zoloft or other, meds, I suck with these meds. But if you take these SRI meds and they don't work for you, it could be a flurry of other things. Maybe you're not even making enough serotonin because your monoamine oxidase gene is clearing it out so fast.
Right.
It's
And
just,
also, let's not forget that some people just eat like dog shit, doc. They don't
yes,
provide the body the nutrients that it requires to produce serotonin in the first place, So,
perfect. That's right. And then, what inhibits, let me see if you know this. This is actually something I just learned the other day.
mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. I just learned from staring at StrateGene
mm-hmm.
that a serotonin receptor is inhibited by something that is around us every day in our environment. It's, when I say inhibited, it means it's slowing its function down. So what in our environment every single day that we're all exposed to is reducing our body's ability to bind serotonin in our brain and therefore give us that sense of happiness and good mood.
Generally speaking, I would say some form of a toxin, but
yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to give us the answer.
Okay. So what toxin or chemical, I prefer to use the word chemical, what chemical in our environment is everywhere? Which class of chemicals that are used heavily?
Oh man, we talk about pesticides.
Bam. Nailed it.
That shit's everywhere, right?
Pesticides reduce your body's ability to even bind serotonin in your brain. So if you are taking Zoloft and you work in the pesticide industry, or you've just called them over to get rid of those stupid ants or the spiders or whatever else in your home, and you're exposing yourself to pesticides, or you're eating non-organic foods, that serotonin is struggling to even bind to a receptor because the pesticides are bound to it. How can you something if something is already bound to it? If I'm holding this water bottle and you throw me a football, I can't catch it. I can't.
Right. I got another analogy with the mask with that kind of stuff. People who believe that the mask, we could agree to disagree on this view, but I always tell people that people who wear masks, they have to understand that the pores in the mask are a lot bigger than the size of the virus. It's like trying to catch a baseball with a hula hoop.
I love that. That's what I listened to that. So when somebody tagged me that you were dissing on our vitamin D supplement, or they weren't dissing. They actually said, you got to listen to this guy. He's cool, and he just gave you a big shout out. And so then I listened to your whole talk, and I was actually really impressed.
Thanks.
And I loved your hula hoop. I just died laughing.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that you got a sense of humor too. I wasn't sure what to expect, because like whenever I see you on your videos, you're very serious. You give, tremendous helpful information, and you're out. But, it's great to vibe with you like this, as just soul brother, just sharing some laughs and talking some truth here. I want to ask you, oh man, we got to get to some more questions. Okay. So the guy that asked that question, email at dre@beyondrecovery.com and we'll get you. Dirty Genes from Dr. Ben Lynch. Hey, Doc, I'm hearing different things about what is adequate vitamin D level. So I'm promoting somewhere between 40 and 50, but I saw someone else on the live saying that it has to be 70 to 80. Where do you stand on this?
Man, my team and I read research papers. I mean, this is a whole stack right here of research papers.
Right.
I have more laying around my desk. And so the genetics of vitamin D are very, very confusing. And so the answer to that question is, I think, it's individualized. So there is, according to some research papers, and I'm throwing some numbers out here, this is not accurate completely, but it's general. There's about a 20 to 30% range of people's vitamin D levels, because when you test someone's vitamin D, my understanding, I always get this messed up, so correct me if I'm wrong here, is when you're testing someone's vitamin D, you are looking at what is free in the blood, unbound vitamin D in the blood. So when you order serum 25-hydroxy vitamin D levels, you are seeing what is free in the blood. There is a gene which makes vitamin D binding protein. And vitamin D binding protein's job is to bind vitamin D. So if you have higher levels of vitamin D binding protein, you are going to have lower free vitamin D on your lab test.
Right. I see.
But that could be fine, because because you need to bind that vitamin D to transport it to bind to the vitamin D receptors. Look, folks, if you are supplementing with something, vitamin B12 or or folate or vitamin D, and you just do a blood test, that means shit. It means nothing ultimately, because where it has to happen is you have to get that nutrient inside your cell or bind to a receptor in order for a physiological effect to occur.
That's a great point. Great point. You see, man, they don't teach me that kind of shit in allopathic school. I got to learn from you.
Yeah, well, and to be honest, they don't teach me this stuff in naturopathic school either. And so what happened, so my journey, I studied naturopathic school to get the pass, to pass my board exams, to get my license. And then I just quickly pushed all that nonsense aside. Right. Not all of the nonsense, but
even in naturopathic school, I would say that I would figure naturopathic school and functional medicine, programs are a lot more awakened than
they are. They are, but you still don't learn how to think. You still do not learn how to think. And I struggle with that, because here I create StrateGene, this genetic report, and it's complicated as hell. It's super hard. Yeah. And people want to know if I have the genetic variation, which supplement do I take, which labs do I order, and give me the formula here. Well, StrateGene doesn't do that. StrateGene just shows you where there's potential roadblocks and so on, and you have to think it through. So people are never, ever taught how to think. And so my job is to teach people how to think as a doctor. That shouldn't be my job. That should be taught.
Hey, man, I'm actually really impressed by how much of psychology you know. Also, you're like a mind, body, just a whole wellness kind of guy. It's impressive.
It's better to be a generalist than a specialist, and I learned that the hard way. You've got to know when to zoom out, because look, if you're struggling with fatigue or depression, or you can't fall asleep at night, and you're trying to figure out which specific supplement or which specific medication that you need, and you're breathing through your mouth, then you're not oxygenating your body. Right. And that is the most fundamental thing to breathe properly. And I would say the majority of us don't breathe properly. I don't. Right. And so if you look back at ancient treatments, the Chinese do Tai Chi, the East Indians do yoga. Yeah. And what do these do? They stretch your body to allow your upper chest to expand and inflate your lungs. They calm you down. They allow you to focus. They reduce stress to oxygenate your body. They got that. And here we are doing all sorts of weird things where we're injecting ourselves with, you know,
Shit.
weird
Right.
crap, thinking that is making ourselves better. And these ancient healers knew exactly what they were doing by focusing on the breath. And if you hold your breath for 10 minutes, unless you're some amazing person, you're dead.
Hey, so just to be clear, you and I are in agreement that this breathing shit is important, right?
It is, but we will be
Yes.
called quacks because of it.
I mean, my understanding is like oxygen is more important than water. You know, you could go a couple days without water, but you can't go more than a few minutes without oxygen. You go 21 days without food, but my goodness, man. Like, did you know that I almost got arrested because I refused to wear a mask at a tennis club?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, man. But anyways, that's that. Do you know any connection between depression and
Yeah.
VHXXX?
Yeah. Look, it's ingredients matter in anything. Ingredients matter in your food, and the purity of your water matters. Because remember, you have 18,000 employees in your human body.
Right.
And those employees don't like it when they're given mercury or aluminum or polyethylene glycol or adjuvants.
They don't like that.
They get pissed off.
Yeah.
And so they're going to, some of them are going to retaliate, and they're going to be amplified and they're going to be more irritable.
Right.
And so if you are giving an adjuvant, and adjuvants are put in these things on by design in order to amplify your immune system. And if you are amplifying said immune system, that is also going to possibly amplify inflammation.
Without question. And I actually know clients who have children who were injured by vaccine, and they have all these weird neurological symptoms. You know,
Yes.
So it's sad. But I know the correlation with that and depression. But it's interesting that you explained it in terms of inflammation.
Well, I read a research paper which was amazing, and they looked at, I don't remember, 100 different genes associated with depression. And then they drew a spider web. And they had the most core central gene right in the middle that was associated with depression, and then how it influenced the next set of genes. And then the web just kept expanding.
Right.
Monoamine oxidase gene, MAO-A, the serotonin, right? Everybody's talking about how serotonin is the gene, you know, focused with Zoloft and all that for depression. And then you've got Kelly Brogan, who, A Mind of Your Own book, she says, you know, that's nonsense. You know, the whole SSRI thing is nonsense. So I want to ask you here, Joseph, in terms of what do you think was the most central gene? The spiders love living right in the middle of that spider web. So which gene influenced all those other genes that were associated with depression? What do you think lived right in the middle?
Hey, can I be honest with you, man? Genetics in medical school was not my forte.
Okay, same here.
It wasn't.
So remove the gene factor. What do you think, regardless of genes, lived, and you can comment below as well, what do you think was the primary trigger for depression that triggered everything else?
Inflammation.
Bam! Nailed it.
Okay. Well, but Brogan talks about that too. I mean, she talks about inflammation as the cause of a lot of mental health issues, and that's why we like to recommend curcumin actually and turmeric, you know, as an anti-inflammatory naturally, right?
Yes, and curcumin also slows down the COMT gene, which slows down the breakdown of dopamine. So you're conserving your dopamine. So it's if you reduce inflammation, then your 18,000 employees in your body are able to do other things. If you got a fire in your house, they're going to go tend to that fire. They're not going to make you dopamine and serotonin. They don't give a damn about your dopamine and serotonin. There's a fire.
Right. I'm all down with the root cause. Someone's asking
my son here because he wanted to know when I was live with you.
Oh, for real?
I'm on live with that crazy MD.
That's StreetMD. Yeah. I have a backup account, StreetMD. All right. Law 827 is asking, for someone who is on chemo, can you recommend something to help empower the immune system? What do you say, Doc? I
Well,
got my thing, but I would love to hear your perspective.
so here's another C word, cancer. Talking about censorship.
Yeah.
So
Can you believe that?
yeah,
Can you believe that at this day and age, two doctors have to watch what we have to say about someone else's health or wellness, especially when you have to consider our intentions is to help other people out. And we got to watch what we have to say. But please continue.
yeah. So if you are in chemo, well, first of all, let me back up the thing. The best thing I learned in oncology was this: cancer is not a noun; it's a
Verb?
bam. It's a verb.
Okay.
So if cancer is not a noun, it's a verb. Can you kill it? Can you irradiate it, cut it out, destroy it? It's a process. Cancer is a process that is escaped your body's natural ability to detect it and kill it. Our immune systems are designed to sense problematic cells and neutralize them every day. I got cancer cells in my body right now. Right now. And my immune system looks at those little bastards and is killing them.
Yeah.
So if you are sick, stressed out, not tending to your nutrient needs, not sleeping, staring at screens all night before bed because you're not getting your deep restorative sleep, or sucking down poor quality air, then your immune system is not able to focus on the needs at hand, which are bad cells in your body, and they don't get killed. They escape your immune system. So cancer, by design, there's something called immune escape. And inflammation creates immune escape. Inflammation causes depression. Inflammation causes anxiety. So reduce your inflammation. So that said, what can you do to support your immune system if you are on chemo? So there's a great book out there that's somewhere on my desk. But cancer, Dr. Paul Anderson's book. Where is his book? I'm looking for it. He just asked me if I was going to plug his book the other day, and I said no because he threw mine on the floor. But look up Dr. Paul Anderson and his book, and then also The Metabolic Approach to Cancer. Both of these books were written by naturopaths, and it's going to give you a big picture. But I would say, definitely support with vitamin D. Absolutely. If you have low vitamin D levels, your risk of breast cancer goes up quite high. And I think the research, Mercola talked about this not too long ago. I think your risk for breast cancer goes down significantly if your vitamin D levels are around 60. I forget which. There's two different types of lab values for vitamin D. And then I'd also say, meditate like crazy. Reduce the stress, because stress suppresses the immune system. And I'd also support with a ketogenic lifestyle, and get, focus on the ketogenic diet as much as you can while also working with cancer.
Exactly. And to back you up on that, obviously the increased stress will increase your cortisol levels, which in turn suppresses your immune system.
Yes.
So he's absolutely correct.
Right.
How do you feel about the G bombs that Dr. Furman talks about? The greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, nuts, and seeds. These are like these 6 cocktail foods that have synergistic effects for longevity, including protecting you from cancer. Are you into that at all?
I'm into everything that I do is targeted to the individual. These grand diets, like ketogenic diet, by the way, that I just made a grand recommendation, right? A broad spectrum recommendation of specific diets for specific things. That's pretty much nonsense. You have to look at the individual. Where do their genes, their current environment, their gut health, all these different things are important. So while I respect Joel immensely.
Joel, you guys are on first name basis, huh?
Well, Dr. Furman, right? Or Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
right.
we're not. Well, in fact, I've never talked to the guy. I want to, but I've known his work for a long time. Uh,
Yeah.
but I do not believe that everyone should be gravitating towards green leafy diets or onions or cruciferous vegetables. I think some people who have leaky gut problems or ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, look, there's bacteria in our guts that produce hydrogen sulfide. And hydrogen sulfide loves it when you eat onions and cruciferous vegetables because then they
Mm,
make more hydrogen sulfide.
I see.
And then what happens? You feel like crap.
I see.
So you have to be very careful with what you eat. And I call it tuning in. So if you're eating something and it makes you feel bad, don't eat it. And
Right.
so carnivore diet, what's the book by Paul Saladino? The
I don't.
carnivore code or something. Paul and I are in first term basis.
Right.
I've wake surfed with the guy. So carnivore diet may be better for some people.
Yeah. I just right. You're absolutely right. It's hard to recommend that one diet fits all, right? So some people I've seen doing very well on a vegetarian diet. Other people seem to do better on more of like a paleo caveman kind of thing. But I don't think one size fits everyone here at
Yeah,
this
and
point.
you might do really well on the paleo for a few months. And
Yeah.
then you switch over to a juice diet for a month. And then you switch over to
Mm,
carnivore diet for a couple months. You know, you
right.
rotate with the seasons, you rotate with how you're feeling, you alter it. I think diversity is phenomenal because you're diversifying your microbiome because what you eat feeds your microbiome. And if you eat just a few things, your diversity of your microbiome shrinks. And you should know that your microbiome is synthesizing things like your B vitamins
Right.
on a big amount. So if
Yeah.
you're not nourishing them, you know, they starve and die out.
Right. Hey, brother, are you into fermented foods like Korean kimchi? You
I
dig that
love
at all?
Korean kimchi.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I
Awesome.
do. But again, like everything, fermented products can be beneficial for some. But if you have leaky gut, acid reflux, or food allergies, you might be more reactive to these things and not do very well because your histamine ability to degrade histamine is terrible. There's a
Right.
gene that resides in your gut in a big way called DAO. And I talk about this in the book, Dirty Genes. So if you have
Dude,
a,
I gotta get my hands on this book, man. You're
yeah, you
giving
do.
such like cliffhangers here. I know your business strategies, man. You're making everyone so curious to read this damn book now.
That's right. That's right. But
Brilliant, brilliant.
that curiosity is going to empower them, which will then, unfortunately, make our clinics reduce in patients because everybody's going to get better and they're not even going to need to see our work anymore.
But you know what's smart about that business model is that when people get better, they're gonna speak praise of your name, and then you're gonna get free referrals, without having to market yourself.
Exactly.
So
Right.
it's good karma. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hey, so brother Martwan wants to know what are the benefits to beef liver pills? Do you have much experience with that? I don't have much
Um,
experience with beef liver.
I don't. I know Paul Saladino. He came out with a supplement line that is packaging like beef livers and beef kidneys and all that stuff too. So this ancestral diet or these ancestral type of supplements, I believe there's some definite good to them. So beef liver pills, I would say be very careful about the purity and the quality of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not everything is created equally. It's like if you go to the grocery store, if you buy Safeway beef liver, that's kind of scary. That's maybe sitting out. Otherwise you go to a butcher that just killed a cow and it's been grass fed and free.
Right.
That's going to be a totally different liver.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I do believe liver is high in a lot of nutrients, B12, folate, choline, tons of different good stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some good benefits to that. And if the bottom line is if she feels great from it, keep going. But I would ask that manufacturer for, a certificate of analysis to make sure that they're testing the hell out of their raw ingredients to make sure it's clean and pure.
I would love to see you like go on CNN and have a debate with like Fauci about like health. That would be like
And
amazing, man. I would love that. Would be like pay-per-view shit. You know what I'm saying?
I
Doc?
would kick his ass.
I no, and then there's like 50,000 other doctors who are in line to kick that motherfucker's
Oh
ass. But
man. Yeah.
oh my god. Okay, but anyways,
Okay.
we
And
don't.
you know what? What else? There's, I would say 80% of people listening, there would be a ton of moms that would kick his ass. Dads, kids, right?
I feel you, man. Exactly. I mean, what is because we're doing this live, but I'm with the audience here. I'm sitting back and I'm learning from you. You got so much depth of knowledge on the genetics and like how this all impacts our health. And like it would only make sense to get an expert going out there and talking about some of this stuff, but they don't want to. So we agreed not to talk about too much of that stuff because for obvious reasons. But let's get to some more questions. Hey, Doc, how about like 3 more questions? And I know you got to
Yeah,
bounce.
sure.
Is
Yeah.
that cool?
Do it. Yep.
These guys want their books. Okay. Oh my goodness. Now this woman's asking a very serious question here. If you don't go to the doctor, how do you know if you get cancer? Serious question. Symptoms.
Okay. Before I answer that, I did see a question that came across the screen. It's like, I heard a lot of vitamins are fraud.
Oh yeah.
Free.
I think we skipped that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a lot to say about that too. But please, you gentlemen first.
So yes, a lot of vitamins are fraud.
Yeah.
For sure. Was it GNC got busted?
Oh man.
Because if you're buying a specific supplement, I don't know which one it was. Let's just say it was CoQ10.
Yeah.
And the bottle said CoQ10 ubiquinol. And you're thinking you're getting 50 milligrams of the highest quality CoQ10 and, whatever, and a great price. Well, someone tested it and they found 100% rice bran in there. So yes, the supplement industry is a fraud, and it is self-regulated.
Hey, Doc, do you ever like when you go to like a Whole Foods or something, you're checking out something
is a fraud, and it is self-regulated.
Hey, Doc, do you ever like when you go to like a Whole Foods or something, you're checking out some of the other products out there? Do you sometimes look at their ingredients and the dosage that they put in there? And this is a fucking joke, man. They put all these cool name ingredients in there, but the dosage isn't enough to do shit. You know what I'm talking about?
There's a term for that.
What's that called?
Label dressing.
Label dressing.
Yes, you dress up the label to make it look good, but
it's
you don't put physiological amounts in there that'll do anything. It's like if I put magnesium, it's got magnesium in it, but I got 10 milligrams of magnesium oxide, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But it's got magnesium.
I usually recommend about 200 to 300 a day, especially if someone's having feelings of anxiety. I'm actually, if I could plug someone else's brand, this is Doctor's Best. I like these guys too.
Yeah.
They have a magnesium glycinate. So that's something that I usually plug as well. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of that kind of shit going on there. Whoever asked that question, anyone who asked the question we're answering the questions for, just email me, dre@beyondrecovery.com, and then we'll get you Dr. Ben Lynch's new book, Dirty Genes, Dirty. If you don't go to the doctor, what are some of the things that you notice in people or you advise people to watch out for in case they might have some sort of a tumor or malignancy situation going on?
First of all, get your hands on that book. Selfish plug here, but it's not really.
No, but it's legit, man. It's legit.
I didn't write it for me. I wrote it for you. I didn't need to write it for myself. So get your hands on the book, Dirty Genes, so you can clean up those dirty genes so you can hopefully prevent cancer in the first place. Preventing cancer is it's harder because it requires daily effort. Yeah, but you got to work. You got to work.
You got to put in the work, yeah.
Health is a 4-letter word spelled WORK. And so it's preventing cancer is a lot better ultimately. So let's go down that road. So that's my goal, is I want people to prevent cancer. Now, signs and symptoms that you should be really wary about, and I'm nervous about saying this because if you have these symptoms, it could be not cancer at all, and I just scare the crap out of you, right? Yeah. So if I'm scaring the crap out of you, then I'm sorry, but you asked the question. First of all, yes, you need to go to the doctor to identify if you have cancer or not. You can't just, go to an energy doctor or some guru you know, do telecall or, you know, talk to some person on the phone and say like, no, you don't have cancer. Put your hand on some machine to identify you have cancer. No, you got to get lab tested and, you know, and so on. So yes, you need to go to the doctor for that.
Right.
But common signs and symptoms, unexplained weight loss, and sweating at nights. And, you know, these are some fevers, you know, low grade fevers. These are a combination. These two combined would be something that would be, you know, serious. And regardless if it's cancer or not, if you are having unexplained weight loss and low grade fever for a continued period of time, regardless if it's cancer or not, you need to see a doc, right?
Right. And also, I have a lot of these clients, right, who's like, I have migraine headaches all the time, so I must have cancer. It's like, no. It's usually the brain tumors are more like you have pressure, headaches, and then there's more pressure, and it like just keeps building. It just doesn't go away.
Right.
So
and it's progressive.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll say about migraine, do you know the relationship of migraines with serotonin?
Yes. So, and in fact, I recommend to up the 5-HTP game. That has actually helped out a lot of people with migraines. So 5-HTP, of course, is the nutrient that comes from tryptophan, and it's a precursor to serotonin. So when people have a little bit more serotonin in their system, they seem to be doing better with the migraines.
Yeah, and a lot of people are given triptans, which are also working on the serotonin pathway. So if you if you just get 5-HTP or naturally support their serotonin levels by meditation or breathing and reducing inflammation, amazing.
There you go with that breathing thing again.
I know.
That is important, right? Just to be clear.
I'm a quack.
All right. Hey, last question, man. Sorry, guys. It's just like me and Dr. Ben could just vibe for like hours, man. He's just a cool dude. Let's see. Oh, here you go. This is something that I'd like to know. Apple cider vinegar or lemon water for weight loss. I mean, I'm a skinny motherfucker, doc, so I don't need to know, you know, how to lose weight, but I have a lot of clients who would be very interested in this kind of stuff.
Well, first of all, what is weight gain? Let's ask that question. So again, you probably heard me rephrase some of these things because I'm trying to teach you all to think.
Right.
So I'm not here the guy with all the answers. My job is to teach you how to think so you can think on your own. And so if you're faced with something different, you can reason it out. If I give you a fish, you can eat it once, right? But if I give you a fishing pole and teach you how to fish with different lures, you're golden, right? So what is weight gain? And what is weight period?
Well, some combination of consuming too much calories plus inflammation of eating shitty foods.
Yeah, definitely. And then, it's definitely that. And I would also say weight gain is beneficial if we've adapted with it and we've survived with it because it's providing us ability to carry food around when we don't have food or carry fuel around, excuse me. It's a tool that allows us to carry fuel around when we don't have food in order to create fuel. So being overweight is a natural development that has allowed us to survive and thrive as a species. The problem is we have houses and lights and refrigerators all the time, right? So that is the problem. So weight gain is our excess fuel on our body. And even if you are not, let's say you know that, and you've reduced your eating and you've reduced your caloric intake, yet you are still overweight. Well, you cannot burn that fuel. You go into your car, and for some reason, you do not know why your car has a full tank. It's been sitting in the driveway for a month, and damn it, it's got a full tank all the time. You're not driving it. You're not using it.
Right.
Use it. And so you have to use your body to burn calories. And if you have an inability to burn calories, your thyroid is functioning not well because your thyroid is
good point, right?
Yeah, it's supporting your metabolism. And if your regulator for your metabolism is not good, it's too slow, you're not going to burn fat, especially at night when you're sleeping. So this question of what is better for losing weight, apple cider vinegar or lemon juice, they both are going to increase your alkalinity, which is going to reduce your inflammation, which is going to enhance your digestion, which is going to then, if it's enhancing your digestion, you're going to absorb the nutrients from your food, which then is going to allow your body to utilize those nutrients to hopefully support your thyroid and thus lose weight.
I said, goddamn, you should write a book, Doc. Damn, you know your shit. I'm impressed, man. And you explain it in a way that's like, you know, it's very logical, but it's like, it's a very cool way of explaining it that people can understand, you know, that the young guns can as well.
Well, we must be doing something right, because we got 400 plus people on when we started at 200.
Oh, they're all here for you, man. They don't give a shit about me. They all want a little piece of Dr. Ben Lynch. But hey, look, I know we way past our time. Dude, we talked for like an hour, 20 minutes. I know you
really?
only had like 40 minutes.
That was fun.
I really appreciate the connection, man. You're a fun guy. And hey, so check this out. For the guys that answered the questions, or that we answered your questions, email me. And how about we do this? I think we answered like 7 questions. So the other 13, first come, first serve. Just email. Just say, we love Dr. Ben Lynch and StreetMD on the email. And the first 20, we're going to take care of that. Okay. Awesome. So 10 from Dr. Ben and 10 from me. So fantastic. Hey, Doc, we should hang out again some other time, man. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate your time, man.
Sounds good. And you know what? The first 30.
Oh, shit.
We'll give 20. Okay. We'll give 20 books.
All right. You guys just heard that right here. Dr. Ben Lynch is going to supply 20. I'm going to buy 10, okay? Because I'm not as rich as you, Doc. But
I get a good price on these books.
No, they're, what was it, like $12, I think, right?
Yeah, we probably get a little bit better pricing. So
okay. You got it. I'll be in touch with your assistant, because since you're too cool to talk to me directly, I'll contact your assistant. We'll work that all out. Yeah.
Well, if you talk to me, you probably won't get the books, because my assistants are the ones who get shit done.
Oh. Hey, and lastly, between you and me, I know 20 is your lucky number, but if you decide to follow 21, hopefully you can follow my account back at some point. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, 21's a good number. 23 is even better.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right.
Hey, Doc, get back to what you're doing, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate hanging out with you. And thank you for the promo codes for my peoples to get a little discount on some of your products and stuff.
You bet. Okay? Yeah.
All right. Be safe out there in Washington. Be well, brother.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye.